back to Bunker's Workshop. Today we're going to be talking about one of the things that frustrated me the most in setting up my first laser engraver, which was my CR10S 3D printer with the Creality laser attachment. Their advertised 5-watt laser is actually more like 500 milliwatts. But that's its output power, so obviously it doesn't sound very strong, but it's enough to, do basic engravings. But we're going to talk about some issues that I had. Number one was the software. Really? Gotta love living near a military base. So the software wouldn't recognize my printer when it was plugged in. I didn't know why. I had to scour the internet. I found out there are two main reasons, and I'm going to show you how to fix those in a few minutes. But first we're going to continue going over the problems. So the software wouldn't pick up the laser, thus I couldn't send data to the laser or the printer to then use the laser. This caused a whole mess of issues, and so I have a list of things that is going to hopefully solve your problems. Let's get into number one. Okay, so solution number one, most likely, is going to be you just need to update the firmware on your 3D printer. Now, I am no expert on this. I struggled for like 2 hours to figure this out. So I would recommend, if I can find any of the original videos I watched to figure out how to do this, I will link them down below. Otherwise, I recommend just following the guide here on TH3D's website as best as you can. So what you're going to do, now I have the CR10S with the V, it's like 2.1 board. So this is the firmware that I got. So it's the Creality 10S, Mini, S4, S5 firmware for the V2.X board. But you do have to take into account this is for the V2.X, but you may have a different board, and thus you may need a different solution. So if you're running an Ender 3 or Ender 4 or Ender 5, all of these are going to be here somewhere. So you basically just follow all these instructions. You get up Virtual Studio Code, run a bunch of different codes and commands and such while you are connected to the printer. But you may get to a point, and this is what happened to me. I got all of this done, did everything, but the printer was still not being picked up by the computer, and I didn't know why. It would kind of, it would work when it was plugged into the Cura software, like it would recognize it as being there. Hey Google, cancel timer.
Alright, canceled.
But, with Cura, I guess it just does things differently. So that worked fine. But it didn't work for Lightburn or really anything else. Now, what you're probably going to have to do is, and I went to find this to make sure I just had it ready on hand. This is what you're going to need, most likely for your CR10 or a Ender 3, sorry. So what you have to do is go to this website here. Oh, it's just an automatic download, never mind. So it downloads this zip file, and all you have to do is just take this file and extract it wherever. I can put it on the desktop, but I've already done this, so I'm not going to go through this part. So what you'll do is extract that to your desktop. Then you're going to go into Device Manager, and you're going to see I have a million USB ports, Don't know why. But that isn't what you're going to look for. You're going to go into your ports, the COM and LPT. You should see one that says F2, yeah, F232R driver, or port. And you're going to open that. So I'm just going to show it with this COM port 1. You're going to open that, and you'll see this, or you can just right click and do it. Go to driver, hit update driver, and if you do automatic, it won't do anything. It'll just say, oh yeah, you have the best drivers for it. But you want to browse the driver, and then to see, like I said, I already have it installed. You will go search for the driver wherever you downloaded it, and make sure include subfolders is on. You'll hit next, and yeah, it probably just freaked out doing that. But once you do that, it will fix everything, and then you should be good to go. After that, just unplug your computer, or not the computer, unplug your USB connection to your printer, to your computer, and then plug it back in. There is a YouTube video here if you wanted to see specifically what it's going to look like. I just have my new laser set up to a different computer now, so it's not in this room. So that is really it. I recommend just following this stuff as best as you can, and if I do find some other good examples and instructions, I will link them down below. So yeah, that's the biggest thing, is just making sure your 3D printer is updated, because the base firmware may not be picked up by Lightburn or whatever other software you use. The other thing, making sure that driver bit is installed. That was what caused me the most headache. Just not having it installed so the computer didn't properly pick up the printer. And finally, the last thing is just making sure your engraver is installed properly. If you're running the CR10S, you're just going to take out the add-on fan, the one that's ran with the with the print, as when the print starts, the fan's not on, but then it starts if you tell it to, whatever, all that. That's the fan you're going to want to use, because in Marlin G-code, the engraver is going to be known to run off the same code as the fan would. So the fan can reach, I think it's like 255 is the max number for that code. So you would just basically go in to Lightburn, tell it, max S value 255, and then when it runs, if you're running at 100% power, it'll be telling it to run at that 255 status. Anyways, I think the Ender 3 actually runs on a different voltage. Now, the laser is a 24 volt laser. The I keep getting my printers mixed up. The Ender 3 is a 12 volt printer. I could have those mixed up, and I'm sorry if I do. But I know you need a little device to basically divert power if you're running it on the Ender 3 versus the CR10, and Teaching Tech has a great video on that, which I'm going to link down below, and that guy honestly just has great videos for 3D printing and CNC stuff, pretty much like everything tech in like the maker area. I don't know if that would be the right word for this, but in 3D printing and all that stuff, he has great videos. If you're looking at that, I highly recommend it. But anyways, I'm going to stop talking because I ramble way too much. And I think that'll be it. If you guys have any other questions or comments, please leave them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to try to make more videos in the coming future, especially more focused on laser engraving. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. This has been Zach with Bunker's Workshop, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.